up of the projector, then we can start. Now state book of life. Not just waiting for the button and happy. Let's go. I can talk to this one this area. Okay, guys. Hey, afternoon. Can we now start? So welcome to our, for some it was a deferred assessment, for others it was in a sub-assessment feedback session. In this moment, I would also want to welcome the guys that are also joining us online to participate in this session. So the main objective of this session is largely to give feedback, isn't it, on how we performed in the sub-assessment, which for others was the deferred. So my overall comment, and maybe which is why you are seeing me today, and why you had not seen me in this session, to say my overall comments, your performance in that assessment was not really pleasing. So I really felt that before you write your assessment too, we need to have a candid discussion on what went wrong with it, and then see how best we can then rectify those issues as we go into assessment 2. So if you got a BC, please don't celebrate. It's a BC with a pinch of salt. So it means if you got a BC, your performance was not up to speed. I know for others, our results were delayed, isn't it? People and professors had to sit down and say, okay, let's allow this kid to proceed. Again, your performance is not pleasing. So we therefore need to see what do we need to do going forward. So I expect a lot of input from you guys so that at least you assist each other, isn't it? So at least by the time you write the assessment, you are not going to come back and say, had I known this, maybe I could have done better. And I believe as part of your normal program, this class was not very confirmed. Yes, so it's more of an intervention class. And you know what happens when there's an intervention? In our Shona culture, if you see yourself being called by the aunties and the uncles to say, we need to sit down with you, there will be a big problem, isn't it? So today I'm the uncle, isn't it? Say, guys, we need to talk. Or for those who are married, if your wife tells you that you need to talk, you need to brace for trouble. So anyway, for purpose of this, I hope you have already done your self-assessment where you reflect on how you performed. You are comparing how you attempted the individual tasks versus what was expected of you, with the purpose of reconciling what you did right and also identifying what you did not do particularly well. So like I said, main objective is to review the deferred assessment or the supplementary assessment. But you're going to realize that largely, I'm going to be emphasizing on those things that have been emphasized to you since day one you started this particular program. And then you ask yourself, for those things that you have not been implementing, why? Is it because you're in disagreement how we are being told you're supposed to do things? Or there's another particular reason? Or you're not paying attention, especially during the preliminary stages of the program? So this, I'm sure we have already done it. How to do your own self-evaluation. So I'm not going to spend that much time into this. And for the benefit of those who came through from the catch-up class, if you are sitting at the top, HC, you should not be in this class, isn't it? Your life is sorted. But I believe none of us are sitting there, isn't it? So I'm saying a highly competent candidate. Competent, you're on a good track, isn't it? We are on track to passing your APC. Borderline. Do you understand what is meant by borderline? Borderline. Anyone to share? When you talk about borderline, yes, what's your understanding? You're sitting on the fence, you can fall either side. But chances are high you fall which side? You fall the LC side, and I'll tell you. You know, guys, when you're marking, there are some scripts after reading. You don't even know, say, what. You can't, the student is not competent, limited, I said, maybe not. They said that a few things that were good, and you pack them on borderline. But I would say, largely BC, if it's a CISO, you are more inclined towards what? The LC. So it means there's a bit of work that needs to be done. LC, NC, definitely we've got a big panel, we've got a big problem here if you are sitting there, where you need to address a lot of fundamental issues. So if you are reviewing how you performed, please make sure you understand how those things are, those grading criteria work. In this practice, you're aiming for HC in all 8 tasks. Now that you've done at least 2 assessments, But what's the reason for aiming for HC? If you miss HC, at least you may land within the competence range, isn't it? So let's say if I just get a C, maybe a BC, you find yourself sitting in LC or NC. But ultimately, some of us, we are very, very inconsistent. One time someone shoots an HC, from there they are moving to an LC. Then you wonder what's happening. But unfortunately, you are now being assessed from an overall perspective. Each individual task matters, isn't it? It's not different from your ITC or stay whereby people tell you, my friend, when you get an easy question, hammer it, isn't it? Well, if you get the 40 marks, you're not just looking for 10 more to pass, isn't it? But your APC, you have to be consistent across all the tasks given in the exam. Then another comment to make on the specimen response. I know most of us, after reading the specimen response, you get really worried, isn't it? But should you be worried? I would say to some extent, but however, the specimen response, if you go back to our grading grid, where is it sitting? Is it a competent response, a BC or a HC? That's a highly competent response, isn't it? So she's not worried too much to say, I didn't get exactly as on the specimen response. It's next to impossible to get exactly the same, unless the exam leaks. But what we are looking for is, when I look at the specimen response, did I address most of the issues or the crux of the problem that I was supposed to address? Which is going to be the focus of our discussion today. How did you attempt the specific selected task that we are going to be discussing versus how you were expected to perform? Okay. So this one again, I won't waste my time on this one. So for the purpose of our task, we are going to discuss task A, B, E, but I'll also touch on task C, the IFRS 9 task, where to review the accounting policy note. And there's a specific reason why I'm also going to look at that task. Because I feel that generally most of us struggled with task B, which required you to review something. The accounting policy note again asks you to review something. So it appears you are struggling where you are asked to review work that has been done by someone else. How do you conduct a review within the context of the information provided? What is this pie diagram communicating? For those who are artistic, I know as accountants, we are not really known for artistic eyes. What is this diagram convey? Pie chart. It's saying pre-list information, IOD response. Not what? Yes.
I think you need to combine all that to get a whole.
So in other words, she's saying this should not be fragmented in this way, isn't it? There should be a connection between your PRI, your IOD, and your response. But at the moment, when you read your script, you can see that the response you are reading is a direct transfer from what's sitting in the file onto the response. But what does that mean? You have ignored your IOD, isn't it? Even the research that you are doing, can you link it back to the pre-list information? So obviously, the question is, how can we link all these small pieces? We are going to start off with the work that you do within the pre-list stage. So in task A, you have your PRI. And the beauty about task A confirmed as a highly technical task. Difference 15. So in the PRI, you are asking document I, you should have all this information. If you recognize that when you got amount or net amount, then current under IS 18, we are using net. Therefore, when you go to difference 15, what are we going to be doing? So now the question is, when you did your research on this trigger, what was sitting in our files? Anyone care to share? To say in response to this trigger from document I, this is the IFRS 15 information sitting in my file. What was sitting in our file? Yes. You had? And what type of information? Okay, so she said I took the example in the standard. Okay, that's the approach that she took. IFRS 15 principal agent relationship example within the standard. Others?
Specifically, I had so sort of a summary as to how when is someone classified as principal, or when is someone classified as agent. What are the indicators showing whether someone is a principal or an agent, and how do you then recognize the revenue if you're a principal or an agent?
Okay, interesting. So effectively, you went through a rundown of the IFRS 15 principles on differentiating between principal and agent. And then say, if it's a principal, how do you account for the revenue? It's an agent, how do you account for the revenue? Okay, interesting. Everyone else, we did the same. Obviously, you did the same. So now, from my perspective, was it the most appropriate way of doing your PRI? From everything that I've been given here, what's missing? Yes. How did? So number one, yes, IFRS 15 is there, but was IS 18? So whenever you're dealing with a new standard, what do you need to ask yourself? Currently, what are we doing with it? Does it make sense? Then going forward, what are we expected to do? So that's number one, but there's something else fundamental missing. Okay, yes. Okay, to say if you then move from IS 18 to IFRS 15, that change over, is it a change in accounting policy? Because that partly is. But there's something primary missing. Yes. Okay, you're almost there. But what I'm looking for is, once they've done these things, ask yourself, how does this apply to FFC? Well, there's no point you have done all the theoretical research on that technical principle, but do you relate it back to FFC? So within FFC's context, in which area should they worry about this principal agent problem? And no matter what I expect to find sitting in your file. Why? Because the example IFRS 15, confirm you're allowed to carry your standards into the exam room. I've done something here. What if I switch off the light? Anyway, so confirm in your exam you're allowed to carry your IFRS standard, isn't it? So there's no need to copy what's sitting in the standard and put them in the file. Well, do you know what the chances are? You are going to read your files. You are going to go to what? That's not duplication of effort, isn't it? But what you don't have is, have you done an initial analysis, say, within the context of FFC, how will the agent-principal relationship work? That's PRI, isn't it? And like I emphasized, change over. We are moving from an old standard to a new standard. Currently, what are we doing? Then, going forward, what are we expected to do? So in document K, that was now IOD, we are requested to refer to the service level agreement, isn't it? Happy? And then within that service level agreement, you were required to say assess recognition of revenue. Specifically, whether revenue should be recognized at gross amount or net amount. And then another question which was asked was, adopting of a new standard, is a good opportunity to rethink our judgment from prior years? And the task just referred you back to document K, isn't it? So I'm going to discuss the interpretation of the expectations from the task versus how some of us then interpreted our expectation. So the question was, before you answered this task, did you identify the problem to be solved? Personally, for the script that I marked, I would say 70% of us did not first identify the issue to be solved. And how did I see that? First 2 pages, we went to town around the 5-step model. Yes, most of us wrote somewhere we had to sneak in the 5-step model. But the 5-step model, from step 1 up to step 5, what was the relevance of that model in solving the problem at hand, isn't it? The problem at hand was, should we account for revenue on a net or gross basis? But because in your industry research or pre-release, what had you done? You saw IFRS 15 triggered. And what work did you do? Was you know that the hot topic in IFRS 15 maybe is the 5-step model. Let me put it in my file. You get a task, introduction. Okay, before I explain to you, I'll just give you a rundown of the 5-step model. Then I get the rundown of the 5-step model. But what is the relevance of that 5-step model to the problem we are trying to solve? So what is my advice? For each task, your opening paragraph should be doing what? Your opening paragraph, what should you be writing? Yes.
Your understanding of the task.
So your understanding of the issue to be what? To be solved. That should be your introduction. But currently, what is our introduction? You are telling me the reasons why IFRS 15 was brought into play. For what? So the moment you clarify your understanding in the first paragraph, chances are high your discussion is going to be aligned to solving that particular problem, isn't it? Because you are clear about what you are trying to solve. Which maybe brings us again to this model that has been shared with you, isn't it? Confirm this step was not new. Then someone, what is this problem trying to assist you with? To say, before you write anything, please understand the issue to be solved. Does it make sense? What is the issue to be solved? So here I'm saying one thing in your file, and normally because the contents of our file are very misleading. My advice would be, before you even go to your file, please ignore it at this stage. Focus more on understanding the issue, how it has evolved in the IO business. Yes, when you go to the PRI, you have a preliminary understanding of the potential problem, isn't it? At PRI, it was the potential problem. IO, you are not being given one. The actual problem to be solved. So some of us have got a tendency of solving the potential problem. Because we are ignoring the IO. And normally you find that the PRI, the scope will be very broad, isn't it? IOD then what? Zeroes in on a specific problem to be solved. And once I've identified the issue, I'm going to ask myself, from my IFRS 15 and IS 18 knowledge, what principles do I require to solve this problem? Do I require the entire 5-step model? The answer is a big no. Yes, I know I'm not in accounting, but I can see an atrocious answer. But from the problem that is be solved, okay, why are you trying to seduce me by writing this open fact? The very good thing about the 5-step model. What is the relevance of those things to the issue you want to solve? Isn't it? So you identify relevant principles. So they are saying analyzing and evaluating. So here you are now analyzing. It's specifically in this case that you are given a service level agreement confirmed. And from that service level agreement, that's where our IFRS 15 problem arose. Who is the principal? Who is the agent? And I believe some of us did not understand that service level agreement. Who was FFC in that agreement? Who was the other part? From whose context are we trying to solve this problem? Is it accounting from FFC's context or accounting from FFC's partners' context? Then you can then define the parties. Who is the principal? Who is the agent? And what? So now, it brings us to the concepts that I know have been again covering for the greater part of the year. Developing your expectation table. How many of us take time to plan? Which is what we are calling the expectation table. So I know the expectation table that we normally give you is this fancy one, isn't it? Yes, I'm calling it very fancy. Because the exam, there's no way you can produce this. But you are wanting to prepare something simple. Planning. If I identify the problem to be solved. Secondly, if I identify the applicable technical knowledge, if anything, that I need to solve the problem. Then it's not my planning. To whom am I reporting? Who is the consumer of the work that I prepared? That's very important. Who is the consumer? Because, for example, if the consumer of the work that I prepared is someone who's not even privy to this agreement, I may first of all need to explain to them how the agreements are structured. But our problem here, we are reporting someone within the FFC who already knows how the arrangements are designed. So I should not waste time explaining how the arrangements are designed. And then context. Whatever I do, what is simply saying your discussion is within the context of a PRINIO. The task never says, can you explain to us how IFRS 15 works? Confirm. The task said, how should we account for our revenue? in light of the new IFRS 15 standard, isn't it? That was the task. So now, I just want to go back to the issues. Assess recognition of revenue. Should we recognize on a gross? Should we recognize on a net? And then you conclude, isn't it? You analyze and then conclude. But then there's another question you can ask, isn't it? To say within the task, you should not just end on assessing IFRS 15. Given what we're doing in prior years, what's your comment, isn't it? I know most of you then correctly were able to highlight that even under IAS 18, the conclusion would have been the same. Which is therefore trigger what? The prior period error. And the task then didn't ask you to prepare the error note. We just mentioned, say, because our prior conclusion was inappropriate, it meant that we got the prior period error. However, I'll say at a high level, the majority of us, for task A, at a minimum, we're able to get a BC. And normally, what dropped us to BC was our bad introduction. We first went to town with IFRS 15. Then on page 1.5, however, the issue at hand is whether there's an argument. 1.5 pages later, I needed that on first page, isn't it? But remember, this is a professional skill. Just imagine yourself, you've been given this task at work, and you have presented to your manager or whoever 1.5 pages of IFRS 15 introduction. They are going to be bored and lost in it. See, my friend, what exactly are you trying to solve here? What is the problem that we are trying to solve? Then conclusion, can you agree on something? Your opening paragraph, what should be our standard? Document your understanding of the issue. Don't document the background to the standard. That's an understanding of the problem. So this was task A. Any comment around task A? Relagas? Okay, yes. So say, should we assume that the person who wrote to us knows IFRS 15? Okay, I'm going to give you a question if you don't mind. Would it change whether or not they know IFRS 15? Is it going to change how you are going to answer the question? What would change? This is just out of interest. So as when I go to the email document K, Peter, does Peter have a working knowledge of IFRS 15? Would it change anything within the context of this task? Anyone? For my view, for this task, it wouldn't change anything. Even to Peter, even if he didn't have an understanding of IFRS 15, Peter had a specific problem confirmed. So giving him the history of IFRS 15 was not relevant. Giving a high level roundup of IFRS 15, that we are going to confuse him even more. Peter just wanted to know, should you account on the gross or on the net? Even if you are writing to a qualified CA who would assume they know IFRS 15, Again, no need for introducing it into business. These guys are at the stage of where they are now implementing the standard. How should we account for a specific transaction? Yes. So I seriously hope we are reconciling to what you wrote and seeing where we might have missed each other. Any other comments on task A? Task A. Yes, task B. This one was quite interesting for me. Task B, let's try to review something. So what we see, what was expected of you, versus how you then did your review. So in task B, this is what you got. So in the PRI, you were told on page 18, or somewhere thereabouts, there is often a lack of understanding of important concepts such as risk assessment, materiality, material misstatements, audit approach, and the process we follow in order to develop our audit strategy and audit plans. Question: what work did we do on this trigger? What work did we do on this trigger? For the standard journal I saw in your response, nature, timing, and extent, it had to fit in somewhere, somehow. So guys, let's look at that trigger. What has been triggered there? It's of the work you are supposed to do. There is often a lack of understanding of the concepts such as risk assessment. So this is a comment that has been made in it. And you knew you needed to do some work. What work did you do? So I need to ask you, here you expect to go and obtain understanding. So you should have asked yourself these three simple questions. The first one is, what is risk assessment? How many of us answer that simple question? What is risk assessment? Then the second question is, why do we perform a risk assessment? Then the third one is, how? How is risk assessment done? And I believe after answering those three questions, you understand risk assessment. What, why, and how. So that's what they asked for, isn't it? And they also said materiality. Okay, what is materiality? Why do we even need to worry about materiality? How is materiality used within an audit? Audit approach, the same thing. What is it? For the why, do we need to come up with an audit? How do we come up with an audit? That's PRI work, isn't it? But the majority of us, we just went to ISA 315, 330, 300, 315. Again, copy pasted what was sitting in the standard onto your SOR codes. Wow. But yet, your research did not assist you in answering some of these simple questions. So now with that work, you come to IOD. So IOD is now giving you again a specific problem to solve, isn't it? When you are asked, the audit clerk is asked to review the audit plan for the audit of biological assets and to improve it in time for next year's audit. That audit clerk who's being told what to do in it. Therefore, I need your guidance as to the principles relevant to the contents of the current audit plan. I am doing this for the first time. I need the principles relevant to the contents of the audit plan. So if I go to document L, just to quickly read some of the contents of the audit plan. In the audit plan, there was a table that was given with the first column written assessment of the risk of material, the statement, the assertion. Then we also given justification of what? Of assessment. In the last column, we are given the audit procedure. But specifically, this working paper, what was it all about? This was the audit plan. Confirm. Audit plan, biological assets, page 1 of 1. So by being told 1 of 1, what is it communicating to us? This is the entire way. There's no way else where there's documentation on the audit plan. But some of our responses assume certain things were done elsewhere. Yet the working paper clearly said 1 of. So if you thought there was any missing information, it was actually missing. Aren't you okay? So that idea is I'm reviewing, isn't it? Okay, again I'll read for the. I need your guidance as to the principles relevant to the content of the current audit plan. I will also appreciate your input regarding high-level criticism of the plan and how the plan can be improved. So what were the issues to be solved? Remember I said your introduction should do what? You document your understanding of the issue of the or of the request. What did this junior request from you? I'll read that again. This will be the first time that I'm involved in the planning of the audit. And I would therefore appreciate your guidance in making sure that I'm getting this right. I'll also appreciate that I need your guidance as to the principles relevant to the contents of the current audit plan. I would also appreciate your input regarding high-level criticism of the plan and how the plan can be improved. Can anyone assist me? Understanding of the problem. What did the junior request from you? I thought everyone sitting in this room wrote this assessment. So I'll read the first part. I need your guidance as to the principles relevant to the content of the current audit plan. So confirm that's request number 1. So I need guidance on the principles relevant to the content of the current audit plan. So what are these contents? The first one is assessment of the risk of material misstatement. What are the principles around risk assessment? This one, justification of assessment. What are the principles around the justification of assessment? High, low, medium. What do we consider? Principles around our responses being the audit what? So my question was, where was nature, time, and extent coming into play in this? Or we just dump what we remember from our ITC and CTS studies. So the moment you see an audit planning question, if you don't talk about major women extend your income. But now here the problem is the request was specific, isn't it? In doing my risk assessment in the first column, what are the guiding principles from the ISAs? In determining the justified assessment, what are the principles? That's part one, isn't it? Part two of the request said, I will also appreciate your input regarding the high level criticism of the plan and how the plan can be improved. Now, after telling me the guiding principles, can you look at what I did, isn't it? Makes sense? And when I now review someone's work, we are looking for two broad things. What they've included in the plan, is it appropriate, isn't it? Then you are also looking for completeness, isn't it? If they included everything they were supposed to have included. So this should help in your understanding of the issue section. So that when you then go to your response, already you expect two main broad subheadings. Principles on audit plan, but not just all. Guided by the current plan. Second section, review of the current one. So let's reflect a bit. So this is effectively what I was discussing with you. What is an audit plan? What are the principles? Risk assessment, audit procedures, as well as the assertion. Well, that's what was sitting in the audit plan. Did we comment on that? Then the last request, assess the above against the current audit plan given. And someone starts talking about the extent of the procedures. Where is it coming into play? The timing of the procedures. So analyze and evaluate. So these are some of the things we expected to bring into play. Some assertions were not addressed. Some key issues were not identified in the risk assessment, isn't it? To say, how do you account for the biological assets? It's an area that requires a lot of significant judgment. So that's completeness, isn't it? Nature, timing, and extent of what? Of risk assessment procedures. So now the question is, when you did your PRI, do you think the work that you did set you up properly for this task? How many of you feel that the work you did in the PRI set you up for this task? Or you were set up for failure from day one? So what do you think went wrong in this task? Is it the PRI or the IOD? Where do you think we missed it? Yes. So you underestimated the trigger. So he's saying the PRI, that's where maybe we could have done better. Others, how many of us took time to analyze the request? To understand the junior's request? None of the above. And there are certain keywords that were in the request. I wanted the principles relevant to the content. For me, I found that to be a killer. It was not just principles of audit planning. Relevant to the content of the current plan. Then from there, can you review my audit plan? Then I think the last comment I want to make is on the work around the pre-release information. Guys, whenever you're doing research on either either research or research on specific checking or triggers, always do it guided by research questions. What do you want to know? Is it? So write it down in the form of a question. When you go to the standard, you are clear about what you want to know. Not just to do a reading of the standard. And what you want to know is guided by what? It's guided by your understanding of the trigger. Within IFRS 15, in line with the trigger, what do I want to know? When I go to audit planning, what within the context of the trigger, what do I want to know? Then I believe the quality of your research will be greatly improved. Even referring to your current exam becomes easier. If the subheading for all your research work is a question, you can quickly know that relevant information for the papers discussed, I'm going to find in this section. But if you just copied and pasted something, then you're going to have a difficult time in referencing or connecting that pie chart, isn't it? TRIIOD and the context. Okay, and feedback on task B. From your own personal experience, task B. Yes.
I think personally for me, I struggle with preparing for audit tasks during the pre-release period. So usually the audit issue is fading in passing.
Okay.
That or the issues, the auditors will come, and the issues around materiality, what type and stuff like that. So now when it comes to preparing and anticipating, it becomes very difficult. At the end of the day, you just go sort of generic. You then just find out what is an audit plan, how does materiality work, and you can't really get into specifics like for my own.
That is the challenge. Okay. So to solve that challenge, you know my advice. Confirming auditing, they always say if it's not documented, it's not what? It's not that. If in auditing, let's say for example, been given a trigger around the engagement letter, hypothetically, one of the things you need to do in your PRI, look for a colleague who can give you a practical engagement letter. Say, my friend, I want to see it, isn't it? What does an engagement letter look like? When you then do your research around that, at least you know what you are dealing with, isn't it? But this on what is planned, how many of us thought for the purposes of your preparation here, for the deferred assessment, actually took time to say, this is what is planned. How many of us did that? But can you see why you're missing it? Because with auditing, you don't do that. Chances are high you're going to be in trouble. Okay, this is the materiality working paper, it was 300. So materiality, guys, I know you are within an audit firm. You can delete the content of the paper, but I just want to see how it looks like, isn't it? But what person I believe, seeing is believing, isn't it? Then from that, you can then have further questions, isn't it? So how does this work? What is this? Why are we doing this? So Contemporary agreed on a model of doing work around audit triggers. obtain a specific working paper where whatever you're doing is documented, then ask yourself, what is this? Why are we doing it, isn't it? How do we do it? By doing those four things, your comprehension of that trigger would be greatly enhanced. There's another comment, a contribution from task B. Like I said, the majority of us struggle with task B. Another comment, yes.
I think, like you said before, there are certain terms which in order to see the already trigger, like you said, audit plan is already a nature time. So sometimes because you have a preconceived notion, you don't then read further on into the.
Because you feel you know it, isn't it? But the question is, if you are not working in an audit environment, have you ever seen how nature time is documented within audit plan? Maybe you don't even know it. So getting the plan would actually help. Which is why as far as that coming up your groups, the group needs to be as diverse as much as possible. So at least even with an auditing trigger, someone in an auditing environment can assist with practical examples of working papers. If you also got maybe a financial reporting trigger, maybe someone who is really involved in financial reporting can assist you. Then that shared knowledge will give you a more robust PRI work.
All the questions kind of broad, like for me, I actually participated in work because I wasn't really sure I was part of this plan. Like all the plan, each one time is so huge. So it's like, okay. So you feel like,
But was it broad? I want to correct the notion of the broad.
all the strategy, all the
What was the trigger?
assessment, where do you stand?
I said, what is risk assessment? Remember, just as the what, how, why, and what is risk assessment? Why do we do? How do we do it? Have you seen where risk assessment has been documented? That's when you need your auditing colleagues. I need to see how you document risk assessment. You go towards materiality. What is it? Why do we even need to determine materiality? How do we come up with it? The material statement, what is it? That's why the auditing you. What, why, and how. Will assist you in defining the work you need to do. Yes.
But then when we're looking at, for example, what the issue that is very saying, where we're facing a challenge. So as you in the PRI period, you know, it's 25 before this process. And the challenge is zeroing in on one aspect discussing.
Okay. So I will respond to your question in two ways. The first one is, when it comes to length, what standards are not low? Can you agree? If I ask you to count the number of pages on average each individual standard, if I then compare them to your financial accounting, you have your part A, you've got your DCs, you've got your all these other supplementary we're trying to elaborate for you. Yes. But again, even when you go to the standards, because we are trying to read the standards without any questions we need answers to. That's why we don't have any structure. Which is why I'm saying if you use the what is it, why do we do it, how do we do it, you now have structure. When you go into that standard, You've got specific questions that you need answers to, which you can then now summarize in your file. But I know a time you take for granted, despite what is its question. But after seeing risk assessment from CTA to ITC, now it's, but don't even know what is it. So I hope that clarifies at least how you need to work around your auditing trigger. But definitely, as always, within the pre-release information, zero in on specific issues triggered. Then research questions, go and answer the questions. Any other contributions on task B? Task B. Okay, so if there are none, I'm going to move on to task E. So outside task E, generally for most of us, there was a bit of wishy-washy. You say, what exactly are we trying to solve, isn't it? So in the PLI, what was triggered? I think the trigger on page was around assessing how Java dealt with the equipment. So there was some new equipment which these guys are going to acquire. And then there was also triggers around text and allowances. Now, obviously as usual, given the trigger, what work did you do? And did it set you up properly for the task? So for the skills that I assessed, I believe most of us, the way we did not PLI was not the issue. But the trigger in itself was not highly technical, isn't it? To say you needed to look technical. But the IOD, that's where the problem was. So IOD was document what? Oh, isn't it? So document O had some interesting information. So it was an email which came from what? From Java. So in the last paragraph, that's where there were specific questions. Please respond to Java per email giving him brief guidance whether or not he should redo the financial statement and answer his questions concerning his company's income tax return. That was the issue. So if you then went to Java's email, it then gave you information of how he had treated or done the accounting of the equipment. And also he had given an extract of how he had treated again done the tax computation. Taking into account whatever expenditures of allowance coming from the equipment. Then discuss what was the crux of our issue, starting from the accounting perspective. What had Java done? You still remember?
Not put machinery. Okay. Java had bought machinery, but in buying the machinery as FFC would have helped them to get a loan to acquire the machinery to pre-package the chickens or spices.
So in his books, he said, it seemed like I got it wrong in the account is built. I was taught that at that one expenses renders equal installment over the period of the lease. However, because the agreement runs over 5 years from 1 July 2017 at a monthly rent of 1.6 excluding VAT, I capitalized the equipment calculate the cost of 50K using an interest rate of 10%, and have expressed depreciation and interest. Yes, I was told to do for installment sale. I've applied a spreadsheet setting out how I arrived at the numbers in the financials and tax return. For them, that from an accounting perspective, that's where the crux of the problem was. So currently, from the information provided, Java was using which standard? Confirm the arrangement was the least, isn't it? From information provided, which standard was Java using? They are still using IS 18, isn't it? But IS 17, the old listing standard, IS 17. In the same moment, IS 17 has taken this to be more of a finance list, more than they are taking this as a finance listening. Yet I'm sure the correct conclusion was a operating list. So Japa's worry was, I think he was confirmed, he was clear that it made an error. So then ask you, should I redo the financial? And all of us, what did we say? We said yes. My friend, this is an operating list. You are supposed to only expense this rentals over blah, blah, blah. But the crux of the task was, if you remember again, listed has been triggered, and there's a new list that in play. So the idea was, Java, don't worry, what you have done under the new listing standard will define it. So instead of trying to redo the whole financial statement, what should you do? Just adopt it. And then there will be no need to do what? To redo the financial. Yes, let's talk. So my question to you, okay guys, what skill do you think was being assessed today? Okay guys, what skill do you think was being assessed in this stuff? It was more of what? Someone said something nice, very nicely. You need to come up with a practical solution for your client, isn't it? Maybe just go there, have a new approach. Client will leave you. Well, yes, I'm afraid they're in trouble. We have to redo everything. But the problem is someone saying, what is the best practicable way I can assist my client to get out of this mess? I understand that the potential they might have messed up. So how can we get out of it? So that's why this task was assessed in you. So like I said, the majority of us, when you need to redo and properly straight move, however, in upcoming years, remember the tip is at the same. Why don't you tell me about early adoption provisions? For the thing next year, what you have done was actually correct.
But what if we look at the type of client that can issue? This company is just a small company.
Okay.
Probably doesn't get audited.
Okay.
Do we, okay, fine, yes, redoing doesn't make sense, but do we need to talk about go area adoption and whatever? You can just leave it there like that because we have to think of it.
Okay, the request from the client wants about getting right in it. So you can't just leave them with their mouth, isn't it? So in fact, if you have not helped client. The client say, I need my things to be sorted out. So how best can I rectify it? So in fact, the client had panicked, didn't it? Saying, hey, does it mean I can redo everything? And all of you said, yes, yes, my friend. Okay. They're saying, for the problem, but did you first of all define the problem that you wanted to solve? I sort of is not good enough. Do you know why I'm asking? If you define the problem that you want to solve, it can then at least tell you, do you have all the relevant information? That's why I can confidently say, I don't have enough information. Can you please provide these further details? But from what I have, this is my preliminary analysis. Makes sense? So always understanding of the issue is very, very important. It will define a lot of things for you, isn't it? Then this task, context was very important, isn't it? So again, Java, I'm sure this guy was just an entrepreneur. He didn't want a lot of technical jargon. Then you tell them that in an LR dotting, if it's 16, there's some practical what do you call them? Experience requirement. Then, oh, by the way, you lose Java. Just tell him, don't worry, my friend, you can LR jobs. So you don't need to redo everything. Without giving the full details of the practical experience, blah, 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 blah. That's now your audience, isn't it? Again, your audience was in panic mode, isn't it? And then you hammer the audience further. Yet you are supposed to be giving them advice. You are supposed to be their technical experts. So you are supposed to be coming up with a solution to calm down your audience. And unfortunately, the candidate was also panicking themselves. So any other issues from task team? Okay, the text aspects are quite straightforward. Most of us were able to get them right. But with the accounting,
a question on the response. In a situation where the relationship is response to someone, which one is the better response? To tell them that, I understand the issue, but I'll probably get back to you or something like that. Or just
okay, that's like the way I do.
Okay. So then you maybe have to go in China. So they're not sure.
Hey, that is one thing. So instead of looking at the understanding of the issue, okay, then
they don't really solve what
yes.
So you like out take issue. Take the problem.
Very good question. Guys, this question that is asked was actually relevant for last year's ABC. With a task like that, the task was highly technical and difficult. And if you're coming to say, my friend, I've analyzed the issue, this is my understanding. But this is beyond me. Okay, guys. This is beyond me. My advice for you is to approach this type of experts. In that type of candidate, the structure was actually assessing the distinct competency. And the main reason why that was given was because the task was really outside the expertise of a CA. So you could get away with saying, I acknowledge it, but I don't think I'm the best person. But on the other side, if it matters to do with your financial reporting, your taxation, your financial management, but then CA, that's our taking. So definitely if you go that of taking out, it can be a system. And then also assess the level of difficulty. You can actually play around between a BC and an LC. But that one goes completely offside. That's a guaranteed LC or not comprehensive. Non-negotiable. But then don't take all on everything. Yes. Two. Yes, they are not. No. That's not correct. So guys, your competencies. Confirm all of you have got, you are doing your article, isn't it? And you have done at least your first answer, isn't it? If you ever looked at the competence on that answer, is it just financial reporting and auditing? And my answer is yes. Okay, I'm going to, guys, can I clarify on this? Confirm if you are in the auditing environment, what does financial reporting started to everyone, isn't it? With an auditing elective, isn't it? Then you also still have to have with some competence in financial management, isn't it? Some competence in taxation, some competence in internal auditing, some competence in all those things, that means they are all relevant to what? To your training. So you can't tap on and say, I'm not a governance expert. Can you go and ask, I don't know who is a trained governance expert? But anyway, the advantage also is when you look at technical matters, what we then also consider in terms of whether it's a valid tapping out, we ask, was it triggered in the what? If it was triggered, you won't get away with the tapping out. Because you're saying we're given time to find out or to research on that particular issue or topic. It's only. Anyway, thank you very much for that question. Okay, any other issues on task E? Okay, question, yes, shoot. It's on to say what is coverage. Sorry? Okay, let me come a bit close. Yes. Okay. Overkill. Is that?
I just want to know especially with the task, which is more.
What this is the task E. Okay. So in terms of coverage and depth, whatever you're going to do is based on that opening paragraph, understanding of the issue from the client or from whoever requested for assistance. If there are two issues that need to be addressed and you only address one, there's no way you're going to be assessed as competent. Can you agree? There's no way you're going to be competent. Let's say hypothetically, your accounting was brilliant. but text non-existent, the maximum you can get is a BC. Why? Imagine in practice you submit that work. What's going to happen? You've left out this, can you go and redo it? They'll never say, it's fine, I'm going to give to whoever is the final consumer. Which is one thing, it's always important, opening paragraph, document your understanding of the issues. So at least you know what issues you need to address. In some tasks, it will be one. In others, it will be more than one. Okay? Yes. So do you know what we mean by depth? Some of us, if you identify the issue, at a minimum we've got coverage. Do you agree? If you identify the issue, then depth is saying, did you address the issue? So depending on the nature of the issue, you may need half a paragraph, half a page to address the issue. Some you may need a full page. Others you may need 3 lines. So it all depends on the nature of the issue. So you can't have one size fit all type of answer. Okay, anything else on C? I hope I'm not walking alone. I started walking along long back. So task G. This one I've just able one comment. I'm going to read document. So task G is special on the PRI. So document what? Document Q. I believe technically most of us knew what to talk about. But there was one major issue. I'm going to read the email from Kiram. Dear Jeff, I've set up a meeting with the FFC CFO to resolve the matter described in note 1 on the attached schedule of an adjusted audit report, working paper 800, which was given yesterday. And she said, I do, however, not have much time to prepare for the meeting and would appreciate your assistance and suggestions on the questions that I can ask, including a request for documented records pertaining to this matter, and that will help us to resolve the matter. For each question, please motivate why you would ask the question. So our problem in this working paper was let which notes? Not one. Insufficient information relating to a loan to a director. But when I read your scripts, you discuss biology, question around biological assets. Question around employees no weapons. But the report was specific. We've been asked to come to discuss and the matter described in notes. So automatically, the moment you talk about 2, 3, you're no longer see. No matter how good you are, you're not one person's way. So again, I hope you are seeing the importance of that opening paragraph. Understanding of the issue. What is the issue that Kerabo wants me to assist you with? Note 1. I got note 1. What was said in note 1? And I stick to what? But because some of us did a bit of work around biological assets, we just couldn't pass without commenting on biological acid. But some of us got a number of colleagues in South Africa that work permits. Again, just couldn't pass without commenting around that issue. So for me, this was a classic example of us creating our own scope. Technically not difficult, but failed just because didn't pay attention, isn't it, to what was expected due of the task. So on task G, that's my main feedback. And definitely then it looks at the expectation for the technical required, who are you reporting to? Or to whose attention did you prepare the response? Anyone who got a B or below this task? If you did, I think you need to pinch yourself a bit. You need to hammer these types of tasks. But the need to demonstrate that we did our research. We can't just go out of this example without talking about biological acids. Yes.
I just want to understand how this small task was treated in.
So this task including the additional pre-research information. Because time you got this one. So the case study was based on assessment one case study. Then you get an additional PRI document. So you know that document I on page 20, CFO indicates that the board during the past year approved that the company sought some services from a company which is owned by a brand. And I remember some of you raised queries around this document during the assessment. To say, where is it? So I don't know whether all of us did receive the additional PRI and did any work around the information that additional PRI. So also this is related questions, isn't it? They are going to think about IH24 issues, think about Campus Act issues, and even check related issues. So check someone would say there may be possible transfer pricing issues, which are again relevant. For those who went to HCs, we were able to raise transfer pricing consideration. You give them assessed as a is it doable? Before I look at tasks here, I've got a simple question for us. I believe when we are discussing this together, you realize that we are missing a lot of obvious things. Confirm. So my question is, what happens during that 8-hour period? Anyone, what happens there? Okay, guys.
Before you look at time for breaks and you should receive like an hour of that.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not enough to assimilate the info on that day. So you tend to, okay, like for me, I tend to concentrate more on my reading.
Well, they tend to ignore more of the IOD. Okay, so my advice specifically to that approach. You are better off ignoring the PRI. The moment you ignore IOD, then you can't win it. But IOD, that's where those issues are now being crystallized. So what is the specific problem, isn't it? So please, IOD, I don't know what you need to do. I need to make sure that we've got time to go through what IOD.
I figure for me, my main problem is my first probably 3 tasks are okay, or 4, but as I get to the later task, improper planning. So you say, I overkill maybe the first 3, leaving too little time for the last task, and the last 2 at least will always, almost inevitably.
It's not just a rush
Try just to let's put something out there so that we don't get lazy.
Okay. So my advice, I know most of you relate to this. The first couple of tasks, we tend to go for an overkill. But unfortunately, the overkill is just punting. It's not to say I'm getting excuse. So the overkill is just the number of pages you write, not the quality. So what you can do to avoid overkill, remember my opening paragraph. What is the issue? Understanding of the issue that I need to address. So you avoid writing a lot of fancy introductions, which do not add in any way to your competence. Yes. But unfortunately, if it's 15, but all of you have read if it's 15. So the introductions, yeah, you wrote. Then on page 3, that's when I'm starting to read. So I'll give you an example. Now we are assessing. I read the opening paragraph. It will tell me the direction you are taking. Opening paragraph based on EP 15. I go to the next page. When I see however, I then start to read. So that's when they start to write. When they are now saying however, the crux of the matter is so much. So it means maybe a potential wasted time writing 1.5 pages. And definitely are stealing that time from somewhere. Then my other question, are we afraid to fail the assessment? Why? Okay, here's the genuine question. Why are we afraid to fail? If you fail, okay guys, you got the assessment 1. If you fail the assessment 1, what could go wrong? For those who wrote in June, and you failed the assessment 1, what could go wrong? Just write a sample. But the whole point is a preparatory program. So I think your fear of failure is unjustified. The whole idea of this item is assessment 1, I did what I thought I applied myself, LC. I reflect in it. Assessment 2, I applied what I thought was right in it. BC. Fine. Assessment 2, even if I get out at BC, there's a stop again. And I'll tell you from experience, the people who want the number 1 in the past 2-3 years, they've always get the assessment 2 star. What advantage is by writing this assessment? It's a practice opportunity. You're actually learning as you go. But the problem is, we fool ourselves and think from day 1, I'll have this thing figured out. So I need to get it right from day, which will not happen. Especially if an average student like me. So I hope, guys, if you just remove that fear, allow yourself to go through the proper motions without unnecessarily going to panic driving. Okay, gentlemen, you know what? I know the majority of us inside this program, our level of seriousness was down there. Can you agree? You're just saying this is another wish-wash program. Oh, there's a class tomorrow. I didn't tell my senior, I didn't tell my manager that I need to go to class. You just pitch up, if the white man is talking there, just smiling, you say, okay, I want to. You say he came from somewhere, so what time was this flight? What ends is go back to business, so we are just on autopilot. So some of these people, unless human beings need a bit of fire, and which is why this class is so full today. So that's the reason for that people. Well, yes, after you know yourself, you said the level of seriousness we can take in this program. Now, what we're going forward, isn't it? We are now going, the PRI is going to come out when September next week. Next week Friday. So, okay, it's preparing for that PRI. That's all right. You already need to do some work in it. What am I going to do once I get PRI? You need to have a game plan before Friday. Once Friday the PRI has been uploaded, you are executing the game plan. But some of us will come up with a game plan for the 40th day of the pre-release period. And suddenly we expect magic in a day and a half. So I hope you are going to win out those days that we didn't. Okay, the last task that I want to look at is IFRS 9. Do you remember the IFRS 9 task? And confirm, how many of us in our conscious before the IFRS 9? LC, if you're lucky, you got an LC. And you know what happens? I'll tell you something about marking. Okay, guys. Hey. What is this? I'll tell you something about the, what can I say? Competent assessment. If my area of specialism is auditing, you think I'm going to be forgiving in auditing tasks? How's the high load, isn't it? I'm not going to be able to do anything for anything. Or if I'm a specialist financial reporting, so I will not buy this lending. So I can't get out by just adjusting you some nice thing, but I don't think it's relevant. So I went to the computer and said, but this person got a BC, I got an LC. I said, even that BC was going to be very good. The whole point is, you failed to convince whoever said the script. So you did something wrong with you. So since this is a learning program, you try to figure out what did I do wrong to convince whoever accessed my script. But the problem is we find comfort by justifying. You say, but I think the assessor was one can problem. I think I should have gotten a BC or C or this. So no rectification, no correction needs to be done. A plot and learning opportunities. So now looking at IFRS 9 task, I think all of us as part of our PRI, we've done work around IFRS 9 concept. But one of those talents, the moment you sit in the exam, you get some goosebumps. But generally we've told ourselves that IFRS 9 is what? Difficult. So in the PRI, this guy said, we have been very slow in assessing the impact of the new financial instrument standards on our financial statement. What work did we do after reading this trick? Yes. Okay, she's saying I took or read an annual report where the guy that implemented IFRS 9 compared to the one where there are two under IS 37. That's all. Is there IS 39? Under IS 39, try to identify what was the difference. They're interesting. How does what did we do?
From a kind of what I took the financial statements and identified the line items that might actually be affected by this man, and any other information that was in the PRI.
Okay. Interesting. So he said I went to the line item to see which one would be impacted by IFRS 9. Interesting. The rest of the class, or just flag the what IFRS 9 standard. It's faded yellow, orange, lime. So when I look at our approach, there's still something missing. We didn't have any person. Not the how, what, why. How, what, why apply for the what is together. So here I'm dealing with an accounting together. So he's saying, I don't know the impact on our financial statement. So the first thing when I look at financial statement, what drives what you are going to include in your financial statement, which will differ from entity to entity. The first, for example, I'm going to account for revenue in the net or gross basis. Where do we find that? It's in the accounting policy. So on that, the first question you should just ask yourself, by the coming in of this new standard, what is our current accounting policy? As far as financial instruments are concerned. I'm not yet going to comparative DTC. I'm starting it out. Does that make sense? Then with IFRS 9, what would need to change in our accounting policies? Andrew, now for specific things I need answers to me. So the beauty of studying of the accounting policy is going to drive the numbers in the case of financial. So once we get the accounting policy right, don't even need to worry about then say trade receivables, how do I go? It's documented in the accounting policy. And within the accounting policy, the expectation still will need to identify the specific financial instruments relevant to FFCs. This one. Then again, my pre-release, my next question would be, what would be the impact on my disclosures? Under the current standard, what are my disclosures? If it's 9, is there going to be any change in disclosures? If they are there, what are they? So when you then go to read IFRS 9, you are going to find answers for specific questions. But most of us, our discussions were, you find a colleague who you think was very good in financial reporting. You know what the question is, can you just give us a rundown of IFRS 9? What rundown? What do you want to know? You don't go to your colleague. So with the coming in of IFRS 9, what will be the change in the account policy of FFC? So here the quality of the work we did in our PRI greatly affected our ability to tackle this task. Because our pre-release was around reaching IFRS 9. It may be reaching financial aid that is already adopted if it's time. But we didn't have any questions we needed addressed. Then document K then said attach the draft reporting text, amending for the new financial instruments accounting standards. These were the only disclosures that were effective. So that comment is important. If you think there are any missing disclosures, they are actually missing them. And your comment, you are supposed to raise it. Please review and include the list of recommendations. Also include the narrative. And then I don't trade receivables are short term, that is less than 12 months. After then you did your impairment consideration, that is the impact. Do not worry about risks other than credit risk. When you find someone talking about risk other than credit risk, do not worry about additional disclosures. What happened? We put the transitional disclosures. So the whole point here is obviously understand, you have to understand the scope of the task. What issues are you supposed to address? And this task scoped out certain things. Say, please don't worry about these things. Then when to do the actual review, because we were not properly prepared for this task, what did we do? Most of us, what did we do? And we download the different lines. But the review point says you have included this. It's not correct because of you should have included this. It's missing from your projects. And this is the type of language you're supposed to be using. Identify what has been done. If it's incorrect, explain why. And then also give a suggestion how it can be rectified. But most of us went the route of download the IFRS 9. And I hope when you saw the solution, I because we saw the special response. Some of the review points, I believe most of us actually beat our heads. But how could I miss something? But I know, man. But I missed this thing. So, for example, it says classification. The classification depends on the purpose for which the financial instrument is obtained or engaged and takes place at initial recognition. Classification is done on an instrument by instrument basis and is assessed on an annual basis. A review point would say it is incorrect to say classification will be done on an instrument by instrument basis. Let's take the correct concept. But your response was did right. In terms of IFRS 9, classification is based on the business model. And generally, the contractual case, what do you say? After business model. And then you go to someone explaining about IFRS 9. Then I'm still waiting for the review point, isn't it? So what is the review point? This is why I can't get very few. But I think I was talking about right things. The problem is we're not actually reviewing. You are writing down IFRS 9 CE5 of principles. Then classification again, the categories that they included. They are talking about loans and receivables. The thing is, it's not talking about loans and receivables. But some of us give us a list of the categories under IFRS 9. But not raise a review point. The loan and receivables IS-39 and IS-9 we no longer have that. What is the class? That's not just an amortized. So on this one, I think our major feedback is that around, guys, I believe most of you in the work environment, we are now in positions where we are reviewing other people's work. Hopefully you are doing it right away. Why I'm saying that? The same way you are doing review at work is what you need to do in your assessment. When you get the client's financial statements and you are reviewing their 59 disclosures, you write down the whole standard. Or you raise reviews was based on what they would have done. But unfortunately, we seem to forget that. The moment you get in that book, into that room, it's somebody reminding you of China. So please, so in fact, if task B, task C, both required us to review, and my people that don't do pretty well with those particular tasks. Yes, you have to pay for assessment too, please. You have a plan on how you are going to do based on those types of. Any comment on the if it's 9 task? The if it's 9 task. I'm not tired from talking and shouting. So DH, I'm trying to get the material that you then also use for your own self-reflection and introspection. So going forward, so instead next week Friday, you're going to be getting the pre-release information for assessment 2. From what we have done so far, obviously the question is, what are the key lessons learned, isn't it? Just to reflect, yes, remember I said you are developing a game plan, isn't it? For those who made use of groups, I'm sure by now you know some of your colleagues who just appear last minute, isn't it? With a flash drive. And before they know it, they've got 10 copies of the same document. And they don't even know it. They go and print the date for the exam. Those duplicates are just getting in. And then after that, they are complaining, how this thing is expensive. I have to print. In case this is billing cost. It's your confusion which is making you incur that cost. So guys, even if you've got a group, take time to do your own work, isn't it? When you go to the group session, go with specific questions for each together. What do you want to know? And this when I come out of that group session, you said I came in with 5 questions and I got my answers to the 5 questions. My colleague had answered 3 questions I not thought about. Now I've got answers to 7 questions. Then we say you benefited from having a group discussion. And then how does your file look and what is in your file? How much do you use? So at this stage, I believe your files were like the files of data gatherers, isn't it? The files was like a little bit of everything, but actually had nothing. That was useful come the day of the assessment. But the question is, how then did you make use of the file in the exam? Too much content is a problem. Too much sense, you don't even know the content of your. Too little, you know that whatever is in your file is not relevant. Okay, now you have to think on the spot, isn't it?
said that before, but you know, it's not a situation. So can you still be called competent? Or it's actually like guiding you to
What was the request? Did the request say draft a further response? Given the nature of the issue, did you need to do anything else? Does it make sense? Once you've analyzed the ethical issue, say, given the nature of this problem, I may need to escalate this further. That's not a professional skill, confirm. We have made a judgment call. So if you don't make that judgment call, you'll be stuck in the beast, isn't it? So maybe the advice you gave your colleague was very good, but you have seen the need of what? Escalating. Then, on the day of the assessment, when we do our tasks, we follow the chronological order on the task grid, or we just A to H. Yes.
Like the tasks are more complex, such as answers.
Okay, so she's saying my approach is to do what? I identify what I think I'm more comfortable in. So this is my personal opinion. It's not to say you need to do it, isn't it? My personal opinion from the feedback I'm getting from you, one of the issues I'm highlighting is time, isn't it? So now, if a case study is designed, for some there's a flow. From each document to the next, there's a defined flow. So if you decide to start with document Q, you've sort of disrupted the flow in it, which may affect your understanding of the IOD as a whole. That means when you make a change to go, you need to be cognizant of that particular risk. So I'll give you an example. Last year's ABC, the last task required you to have a comprehensive understanding of the war. So if you start off the task, the last task, and the high do not perform that great in that particular task. So if they are making your decision in the assessment, please be on the lookout to say, am I not disrupting the flow of the case study too much by being some people finally then need to decide what works for you and just then be cognizant of that particular risk. Yes. Sorry? On myself, I'll say, fortunately for me, I do not need to do this thing. Others, they will check my CA designation. But if I had to take it, I'm just doing it from my previous experience as a student. My take was always to go through the chronological order. Why? Because I use the required to also go back to understand the case study. So if I move with the flow of the case study, it will assist in that particular assimilation. So I'm saying this is my what? Personal view. So if you still decide to go, you cherry pick, just be aware of that particular risk. So you might just potentially miss out on important connections within the case study. So judgment on time allocation, I'm sorry, crying about this one. So remember, we said our biggest problem around time, writing things that are not relevant. Because when someone is talking about time, and I go to a script, it was 30 pages. And they are saying you didn't have time. I get really worried, isn't it? If you ever read 30 pages, no wonder you didn't have time. It means most likely in some of the tasks, there was a lot of digressing from the core of the issues that we expected to do. So anyway, in a nutshell, this is what we thought. This is what we prepared for you, just to give you feedback and to assist you in your preparation for the next assessment. So please, between now and Friday, do take time to reflect on it. Take time to come up with your game plan for the pre-release period, game plan for the IOD period. Say, what are you going to do differently? And make sure you set up yourself properly for success. So before we wrap up, are there any questions? No questions. Okay, so thank you once again for coming through. And those who joined us online, thank you. Okay, guys, just one question. Okay, so please. So here is then other way of seeing other case studies. So on the other case studies, my recommendation, the one that have been given as part of this program, is utilize them properly. So that should be your first one. Question. Because unlike if you go back to ITC CTA, doing more questions was like get out of jail ticket. In this thing, it will not work. Because if you are not doing what you're supposed to do on this, what they are giving, even if you get additional case studies, the issue is just manipulate. But I understand you've got some additional practice case study that you've got in it. After assessment, after the self-assessment, did you utilize it? So if you have not, within now and Friday, take time to thoroughly watch it. You practice for assessment. But after your APT program, you are going to get one other final case study for your own practice. As you prepare for the November APC. Again, properly utilize the case study. So guys, thank you very much. And those who joined us online, thank you also. So all the best in your next assessment.